they had to take their daughter and leave, but the only way she could survive outside was with a spacesuit, and it was stored at a lab in the city center. Desperate to save her, the couple decided to go find the suit. When the daughter heard they were going, she begged them to check on her friend. He had the same illness, and his parents were rarely home. The couple refused instantly. In times like this, they had no obligation to help someone else's kid.
C'était l'inverse. T'aimerais pas que ses parents le fassent pour moi?
Left speechless, they finally agreed to check in on the boy, but when they got to his house, there was no one inside. Running low on oxygen, they didn't have time to think. Soon they arrived at the lab, and found the suit. Just as they were leaving with the case, the lab suddenly exploded. Luckily they regained consciousness, but the man found himself gasping for air. His oxygen line had snapped. Now there was only one tank. They had to share it, taking turns to breathe. While dragging the heavy suit, they climbed step by step, until finally they reached the rooftop. But even this last tank was almost empty. If this kept up, they'd both die. So the man told his wife to go back first. He'd find another way home. The wife was reluctant. She knew without a tank, he wouldn't survive. But thinking of their daughter, she held back her tears and left, not knowing it would be their final goodbye. To save oxygen, the woman sprinted through the streets. But even that wasn't enough. She had to drop the tank and hold her breath, dragging the case up to the top floor. Luckily she made it back in time, but what she saw next was even more crushing than the gas. The suit was ruined in the explosion. It had a huge hole. All their effort was for nothing. She collapsed in despair. Meanwhile, the man was hurrying back across the rooftops. When he saw a dead body, the long trail of blood clearly showed it was a murder. He took a deep breath and stepped inside. Someone had definitely lived there. There was food and oxygen tanks. He looked around carefully, and after making sure no one was around, he picked up the tank and got ready to leave. But just as he reached the door, a man in a police uniform walked in and ordered him to drop the tank, but the man could tell it didn't belong to him. This cop had stolen it and killed for it. Exposed, the cop stopped pretending. He slowly reached for his gun, but the man acted first, strapped on his mask, and shoved the cop into the gas. They fought fiercely. The gun fell to the floor. The cop lunged for it, but the man grabbed him from behind. Without a mask, he lasted only 3 seconds. Before collapsing, the man felt no joy. He knew if he hadn't done it, he'd be the one dead. He got up and rushed back home. Meanwhile, his wife noticed the chamber's battery was nearly dead, with no sign of her husband. She panicked and decided to risk it, to change the battery herself. Staring at the deadly hallway, she took a deep breath and ran into the gas. She moved fast, but the gas moved faster. Her daughter saw her through the chamber window, panicking without a mask, but the mother had no time to explain. She quickly changed the battery, and when the lights came on, she finally felt relief. But before leaving, she stared deeply at her daughter. As if sensing something, she didn't rush back upstairs. She just watched. Finally, urged by her daughter, she turned and walked away.